Kareem, hopefully your favorite videographer from Two Hats Publishing. I welcome you to another Two Hats special of community events. Let's look in and see what's really happening.
If we could have your attention, please. I need our sheriff to whistle. If I could have your attention, please. Good afternoon. Oh, now, come on. Good afternoon. Oh, so much better. Thank you. Welcome to the 96th year commemorating the passage of the 19th Amendment. I'm Betty Ritchie, co-chair along with Joanne Jenkins of Women's Issue Network. WIN is so proud to have this day for recognizing women's right to vote. We are delighted to have Commissioner Dr. Elba Garcia, who will introduce the Bryan Adams Color Guard and lead the pledge. Please welcome Commissioner Garcia.
Buenas tardes. It's a pleasure to... Hey, that sounded really good. It's a pleasure to be here another year at City Hall, surrounded by women, not only that, keep making a difference, but will continue to make not only this city, this state, and this county a better place to live and do business. So with that, let me introduce our color guard of today. It's Bryan Adams High School, directed by Mario Ordóñez, Sergeant Ordóñez, and carrying the U.S. flag, Senior Rida Shahid, carrying the Texas flag, color guard executive officer, Junior Emily Nájera, right guard, sophomore Jenny Salazar, left guard, sophomore Daniel Espinosa, and the officer junior is Jennifer Ortiz. And with that, we start our program today.
Right face, come left, march. Color guard, halt. Left face, present, arms.
And now, would you please stand up and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right face, hard arms. Forward, march. Come left, march.
Thank you so much. And isn't it wonderful to see our young cadets, women cadets? One more time, thank you, Bryan Adams and Commissioner Garcia. At this time, I would like to recognize our sponsors. We certainly could not have done this great event without you, plus a shout out for providing the lunch. We know that it takes a village and no one person can carry the load by themselves. And I've noticed what a great audience you are, and I noticed how well you listen. So if you would please hold your applause as I read the names and our sponsors named. I certainly want everyone's names to be heard, and thank you in advance. The American Association of University Women Dallas Chapter, Brighter Tomorrows, Inc., Dallas Women's Foundation, Dallas County Democratic Party, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Dallas Alumni Chapter, Federally Employed Women Dallas Area Chapter, Jane's Due Process, Junior League of Dallas, La Voz del Anciano, League of Women Voters of Dallas, League of Women Voters of Collin County, NARAL, Pro-Choice Texas Foundation, National Council of Jewish Women, Greater Dallas, Peacemakers, Inc., Planned Parenthood of Greater Texas, Southeast Dallas Business and Professional Women's Club, Temple Shalom Sisterhood, Texas Equal Access Fund, Texas Muslim Women's Foundation, Inc., the AFIA Center, the Parkland Leadership Team, United Nations Association Dallas Chapter, and Women's Council of Dallas County, Inc. Thank you, sponsors, so much. And I certainly want to thank the audience. You all really did a good job. Thank you. We'd also like to shout out to our supporters, and those are listed in your program. Thank you. It's such an honor to have our county judge with us today, Honorable Clay Jenkins. You know, our judge works so hard for us and for the people of Dallas County every single day. Please welcome my friend and yours, Judge Clay Jenkins.
So I have remarks, and if I stuck to them, they would hone closely to the very profound and excellent Dallas Morning News editorial that is in our programs today. But you'll forgive me, I'm going to go off script because the other co-chair of this event is my beloved mama, Joanne Jenkins. So I don't know how appropriate it is in this large crowd, but I'm going to say anyway. Well, when I was a kid, my dad died when I was 7, and he became my hero. And my dad was a great man, but you know, when you're dead, you can do no wrong. And I didn't excel at much as a child. Well, okay, that's not true. I excelled at being belligerent. I excelled at getting into trouble, at back-talking my mother, at being just generally a hard kid to deal with. My mom worked at the phone company. Sorry, old Southwestern Bell, don't mean to call you out, but she trained men to do the job that she was training them to do. They would immediately go out and make about 170% more money than her. And then when she finished that job, she worked for a military contractor in Ennis, Texas, which was 30 miles from where we were in Dallas. So, you know, thinking about my mom today, you know, and I think about how my dad was my hero, and I think about having heroes through life, you know, looking up to whoever it was, the football coach or somebody. But now here I am, I'm a middle-aged man. My mom is my hero, okay? My mom is my hero. She's my, you know, I get a chuckle when I see these things about, are Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton too old to be president? My top political advisor is 84 this year. So I think they're both going to be fine. Well, I don't know if one of them's going to be fine, but I think, you know, we're going to be fine with a 68-year-old president. The last thing I need to do here today is introduce the next speaker. It's a great day for me because Mom and Betty, two people I love dearly, are put together this wonderful celebration. My Parkland board chair appointee, a former appointee, Debbie Branson, is going to speak, but it's probably an even better day for the next speaker because it's his birthday. Well, we're not going to be here tomorrow, man. Let's soak up the glory like we're 8 years old and have a birthday week. All right, so you know, I think everyone knows how the close partnership and friendship that the mayor and I have forged. I could tell you some great things about him, but I think you probably already know great things about him. But I would like you to indulge the mayor and I, if we could sing Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mike. Happy birthday to you. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, Mayor Mike Raleigh.
Thank you. Thank you. What a great day. It is. This thing gets bigger and bigger every year, doesn't it? Traditions are important. Traditions are important for families, for cities, and this is a great tradition. So congratulations. I'm proud that my birthday is one day before the anniversary of the passage of the 19th Amendment, and to celebrate with all of us the importance of women getting the vote in the United States. We just thought that was the beginning, though, because after they vote, they run for office. Okay? They run for office. And I am so proud to work with 5 great city council women. The Mayor Pro Tem, Monica Alonso, who has done a great job as Mayor Pro Tem. I really appreciate it. She and I went to Mexico City together to represent Dallas, and she did a much better job than I did, so thank you. Our chair of the Budget, Finance, and Audit Committee, and my councilwoman, Jennifer Gates, thank you for what you're doing. My mentor, and I get advice from her all the time, Miss Sandy Grayson, thank you. Thank you. And our 2 new councilwomen, are they here? Is Miss Arnold here? Miss Arnold is the best dressed woman on the council, there's no question. It's great to have her, and Tiffany Young, who is doing such a great job representing one of the great neighborhoods, South Dallas Fair Park, and through really East Dallas, kind of Ricky's partner over there in East Dallas and Pleasant Grove. And it just makes us such a great city. So thank you to all the council women for leading us. And it's just, I think it's kind of poetic. I know we're not supposed to do politics here. But for the first time, we have a woman from a major party running for office. Okay? That says something. That says something about where we're going. And I will promise not to I'll just shut up. I just didn't realize I'm going down a rabbit hole I will not be able to get out of. So you just learn to be quiet. So with that, I will provide this proclamation on behalf of the mayor's office in the city of Dallas, and I think it's well articulated. Whereas women of diverse and varied backgrounds working together for women's rights from 1848 to 1920, a 72-year struggle for the right to vote. And whereas on August 26, 1920, the United States Congress ratified the 19th Amendment of the United States Constitution, which allowed women to vote for the first time. And whereas Texas was the 9th state and the first southern state to ratify the 19th Amendment, called the Susan B. Anthony Amendment. And whereas women of today have accepted their responsibilities and privileges as citizens and become leaders in cities, states, and the nation, thereby creating opportunities for all those women who follow. And whereas Dallas women consistently exercise their precious right to vote and provide their labor, talents, vision, spirits, and dedication to achieve equality for all women and men. And whereas August 26 has become known as the day after the mayor's birthday, and Women's Equality Day, okay? And whereas the Women's Issues Network and the League of Women Voters, along with the women from all over the city, gathered today to celebrate the 93rd anniversary of the 19th Amendment, Now therefore, I, Michael S. Rawlings, Mayor of the City of Dallas, and on behalf of this Dallas City Council, do hereby proclaim Wednesday, August 24th, 2016 as Women's Equality Day in the city of Dallas, Texas. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those words and happy birthday. That's great. At this time, I would like to introduce Commissioner Dr. Teresa Daniels, who will present the proclamation from the Commissioner's Court and introduce our elected officials.
Good afternoon, and happy Women's Equality Day, and it is so exciting to see that there are more chairs needed in this room. So welcome to this day, and I would like to say part of what we do celebrate and recognize here is the fact that starting in 1920, women could vote in federal elections, but there were also opportunities, or more opportunities, for women to run for office. So I would like to recognize elected officials who are in this room. Probate Court Judge Ingrid Warren is here. Dallas County Constable Beth Villarreal is here. County Criminal Court Number 11, Sequita Kelly. Judge Sequita Kelly is here. There she is. County Criminal Court Number 6, Angela King is here. County Chair, Democratic Party, Ellis County is here, and that is Nancy Connerday. Criminal District Court Number 7, Elizabeth Frizzell. Let's see, who else? Trustee of Dallas County Schools, Omar Navais. Representative from Helen Giddings' office, Stephanie Clark. Justice of the Peace, Judge Valencia Nash is here. Let us see, we've got a lot of our county, city council members here who sit in front, and they didn't get recognized. The guys didn't get recognized. Would you all stand up? And I saw there are a variety of other council members here. Judge, County Criminal Court Number 2, Julia Hayes. There she is. Dr. Albert Garcia, Callahan. The Mayor of DeSoto is here. Would also like to recognize that there are candidates. So anyone who's a candidate here who has not been recognized, stand up, because those are actually those people that are coming right behind us and will be joining us. Are there candidates here? And I've saved our sheriff, Louis Valdez. She not only is the first Latina sheriff in Dallas County, but in the whole United States. So hats off to her. And there are also a number of the sheriff, our chiefs are also here. So if they could raise their hands and say, no, we're all in this together, folks. And Dallas County also has a proclamation, and I will not repeat those sections that are repeated from the wonderful City of Dallas one. But would like to say that Dallas County also joins in this recognition. That whereas the women in the United States fought for voting rights starting in 1846, women have defended and embraced their constitutional right to be treated as equal citizens in this nation and to freely exercise their civic duties. Whereas in Dallas County, the first woman trailblazers of the Dallas County Commissioner's Court include Mrs. Fred Harris, the first woman appointed in 1942, Nancy Judy, the first woman elected in 1979 and served 15 years, and Judge Margaret Kelleher, who was the first woman elected as county judge in 1998. And among other countywide elected officials, we've already talked about the good Sheriff Lupe Valdez and her place in history. Whereas 2 women serve as Dallas County Commissioners, and that's a good Commissioner Dr. Garcia and myself. That Jeanette Rankin was the first U.S. House of Representatives person in 1917. And the first woman to serve in the U.S. Senate was Rebecca Latimer Felton in 1922, just 2 years after the passage. Today, there are 88 women in the House of Representatives and 20 in the Senate. These 108 women represent 20% of the 551 seats. It means we got work to do. History was made on July 28, 2016, when the first woman presidential nominee for a major political party was nominated. On this special occasion, we must bear in mind that while women have achieved a great deal in the face of significant obstacles, there is still much to accomplish in our work to achieve total equality. And whereas we recommit ourselves to pursuing full equality for all women, we recognize that while white women earn an average of 82 cents to the dollar as men do, African American women and Latinas earn 65 cents and 58 cents, respectively. Additionally, we recognize women with regard to employment discrimination, and we pledge our support in fighting unequal treatment of any kind. Now therefore be it resolved, the Dallas County Commissioners Court does hereby proclaim August 26, 2016 as Women's Equality Day in Dallas County, and Dallas County joins the nation in celebrating and uplifting women everywhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. I also wanted to recognize Representative Yvonne Davis, who just walked in. And did anyone else come in that we did not recognize who is an elected official? Let me know. We love to have you. It is my honor, and folks, there are some seats up front if you would like to. For those of you standing, would you like at this time to come on and sit down? I will put this on pause so you can do that. Yeah, there are several seats. Come on, come on, come on. We don't like empty seats. We have 4 more. It is my honor to introduce our speaker, Debbie Branson. Now she said, Betty, please don't make a fuss about me, but that's just Debbie, isn't it? But how can you not make a fuss about Debbie Branson? I really want to share with you the character of this amazing woman. Debbie is a 4th-generation lawyer. She is the immediate past chair of the Parkland Health and Hospital System Board of Managers in Dallas and an attorney with the law offices of Frank L. Branson. Debbie has served as president of the Texas Trial Lawyers Association and the Dallas Women's Foundation, which is the largest regional women's fund in the world. She has been an active board member of many legal and civic organizations and has served by presidential appointment to the Federal Aviation Management Advisory Council. She is currently serving on Hillary Clinton's Healthcare Policy Working Group. Debbie has garnered so many awards, including Best Women Lawyers in Dallas. She received Modern Healthcare's magazine's Trustee of the Year and the Morrow Women Helping Women Award. She received the Women That Soar Award in business. This is an award that recognizes women who have triumphed professionally and are giving back to the community. And most recently, she was the 87th Annual Lentz Award recipient in recognition for her dedicated leadership in revitalization of Parkland Hospital. The Lentz Award is recognized as Dallas's most prestigious. This award honors citizens whose humanitarian efforts create the greatest benefit to the city of Dallas. Now, folks, this is just a peek into the life of Debbie Branson and all the things she has done. She is a wife, a mother, and a grandmother. Please help me with a warm welcome for Debbie Branson.
I told Betty that definitely qualified as a fuss. Thank you all so very much. I'm really delighted to be here among so many who work so hard to make Dallas a better place for women, which we all know makes Dallas a better place for all of us, right? I especially want to thank Betty Ritchie and Joanne Jenkins, where are you, for your roles as co-chairs of today's Equality Day. Thank you very much. We appreciate all that you've done to focus our attention in the middle of a busy year and a crazy, tumultuous campaign season to recognize the remarkable progress of the women who've come before us. So thank you both very, very much. We're together today to honor the women who came before us. So I wore white, as many of you did, to honor the women who fought for the right to vote. But it's a really good thing this anniversary falls before Labor Day because it would surely be reported on if we violated any fashion rules. When I think about the long arc of history and the long, long road from vision to reality, I feel in some ways those women are still here with us today. Of course, change didn't come quickly, it rarely does. But our country is young enough that much of its history is shorter than an American lifetime. It took more than 70 years from the time the suffrage conversation started to the time women actually got the right to vote. And a mere 96 years after that, a woman is a major party nominee for President of the United States. If you watched the roll call during the Democratic Convention, you saw a woman, a 102-year-old woman from Arizona who was born before women had the right to vote. And this year, she helped nominate a woman for president. That's a remarkable amount of change in a lifetime. And Joanne, I was a little bit worried about saying that you were born, I was going to say you weren't born too many years after the right to vote was granted, but the judge has already outed you, so I guess I can say it. In your lifetime, you too have seen an incredible amount of change. During her lifetime, activities that were prohibited for women are now seen as rights, like the right to serve on juries, the right to own property, the right not to be justifiably killed by your husband for adultery, the right to open a line of credit, bank accounts, and credit cards, the right to work, the right to fight as part of our armed services, the right to equal education opportunities, and the right to equal pay for equal work. We've got that right, we just don't have the paycheck yet. By showing our own dedication to change and equality, we also teach our children to share these values. Like many accomplished women, Joanne is a multitasker. So she didn't just work for change, she also raised a son who's joined her on the front lines as county judge. Judge Jenkins has demonstrated with virtually every vote that he values women and girls, the same as all citizens of Dallas County, like supporting the continued participation of Planned Parenthood and Texas Medicaid program. Thank you. But as my friend Governor Ann Richards reminded us, you can't quit once you've accomplished a few goals. Every generation seems to have to come back and fight for what should be rightfully theirs. In fact, U.S. Representative Carolyn Maloney from New York says that she spends 75% or more of her time fighting to hold on to what women have, not advancing to the next level. To add to that, did you know that in 2015, the United States dropped 8 spots to 28th place for overall gender equality? The rating comes from the latest report from the World Economic Forum based on economic participation, political empowerment, educational attainment, and health resources. The report estimates that at this rate, it'll take 118 years to close the economic gap between men and women. So, my question is earning something really enough? What are we all, men and women, doing with our right to vote? In the words of the late, great Barbara Jordan, if one citizen is unwilling to participate, all of us are going to suffer, for the American idea is realized in each one of us. But in the last presidential election between Barack Obama and Mitt Romney, only 57.5% of eligible voters voted. The good news is that since 1980, more women than men have voted in presidential elections, and the gap continues to widen. In 2012, the difference in turnout was nearly 4 percentage points. And interestingly, in that same time period, a greater share of women than men have voted for the Democratic candidate by an average of 8 percentage points. Now, the mayor said we're not supposed to get into politics, so I'll certainly not predict what that means for this November, but sadly, Texas has one of the lowest voter turnout rates in the country. Fewer than 25% of eligible voters ordinarily turn out for off-year elections when there's no presidential candidate at the top of the ticket. And it's even lower for local races. But that's crazy. It's never an off year when we're voting for local, state, and federal officials who can and do make a huge difference in all of our lives. We know that for change to happen, it has to begin at the local level, through efforts and conversations and outreach in communities across the country. In Dallas, we're fortunate to live in a community where we have leadership that works hard to change the issues that affect women in a powerful and harmful way. Dallas County's domestic violence gun policy actively confiscates guns from domestic abusers, which is an important step in protecting victims of domestic violence. It's the largest and most comprehensive program in the state. And the city of Dallas, under the leadership of Mayor Mike Rawlings, has worked hard to support victims of domestic violence. He launched the Dallas Men Against Abuse effort and commissioned a study to identify gaps in the systems and resources available for victims. And virtually every one of today's sponsor groups has implemented programs that bolster women. So from these efforts and others, we've seen some real change. It's true that we've come a long way. It's also true that we've got a long way to go. With great change comes great opportunity. It's time that we move beyond advocacy to economic equality, where the real seat of power is. We all know that. Now, I don't know if anyone has seen the musical Hamilton. It's a story of Alexander Hamilton and our founding fathers. If you've seen it, you know about wanting to be in the room where it happens. For years, it was unusual for women to be in the room where it happened. And even today, there are times when you may have a woman in the room, but often just one. Until women have full equality, full economic equality, and our presence in the room where it happens is the norm, whether that room is a boardroom or a back room or a situation room or the Oval Office, we've got work to do. We're still having active, heated, ongoing discussions about whether women can have it all, whether they can work and have families, and why they're so underrepresented as elected officials and corporate leaders. And while women are holding their own in the workforce and in education, by and large, it's still men who are advancing to the top tiers. Among the Fortune 500 companies, only 22 of the companies have women as CEOs. That's less than 5%. Again, we have work to do. So, I have a granddaughter. I'm trying to do this without getting teary-eyed. I always get teary-eyed when I talk about my family. She's wonderful, independent, curious, confident, opinionated, hilarious, intelligent, and wonderfully sweet. Actually, if you want to know, she's perfect. Her name is Scarlett, and she'll be 2 next month. It's hard for me to believe that the only world she knows is a world with a black U.S. president and a strong woman candidate who may succeed him. In fact, I think Scarlett could be president one day, too. Her mommy's here. You know, even her princesses are different than the ones I grew up with. Today's princesses solve their own problems. They don't wait to be rescued by a charming prince. She had her butterfly princess outfit on yesterday, and she was working on magic, I'll tell you. On civil rights, on LGBTQ rights, on women's rights, on human rights, we've given Scarlett a pretty solid starting line. But it's not enough. I'm really grateful when I think about how far we've come in Joanne's lifetime, gains that Scarlett and her peers will, of course, take for granted. And I'm hopeful about the world that Scarlett will discover and navigate, because I'm inspired by the passion and strength and commitment of millions of women everywhere who continue to work hard to advance the cause of equality. In many cases, they do that just by living fulfilling lives, following their passions, and pushing on the glass ceiling when they bump against it. In 1936, Eleanor Roosevelt wrote a column summarizing what she'd learned as a woman in public life, and I think those lessons are still appropriate today. Like, you cannot take anything personally, right, Sherry? Every woman in public life needs to develop a skin as tough as a rhinoceros hide. True. Be sure of your facts. You have to take defeat over and over again and go on. And to quote Governor Richards once more, sometimes we have to take victory over and over again and still go on. Because the work is not done, even in light of the overwhelming evidence that when women are in the room, everyone benefits. Strong women, better world. So let's thank and recognize the women who came before us, the women and men who work hard today to make the world a better place for all of us, and encourage those who will come after us to continue the long, slow, hard process of change. Christy Birmingham said it well in her poem called Equality and Vision. She said, "We speak up louder with each day that passes, striving to reach a volume that cracks windows of disregard. We do not pass on opportunities to honor and represent the women who brought us to the path we travel today. We thank these women. We step into their footprints and we stretch the size of their shoes a little more with each day that passes. I hope that we honor them well. And so do I. And on behalf of my Scarlett, thanks for all each of you do. It's important. Thank you very much.
I told you she was amazing. Thank you so much. I do want to point out a table. It's kind of hard to see. It's against the wall, right where I think Representative Yvonne Davis is. And it has events and information from different people, and I would like for you, if you have time, to go by and look at that. I would also like to introduce the president of WIN, Jana Barker. Where are you, Jana? Back here, right in front of me. I also want to recognize the members of WIN. Would you all stand or wave? I think they're all, yes, thank you. And committee members, I'd like to, Norman Menace and Connie Hearn, who are our honored people today, our honored ladies for WIN, and also their former presidents. We could not have even begun to do this without the help of Councilwoman Grayson and her office and the mayor's office. Thank you all so much for coming, and in the words of the president, don't complain, go vote. I think we have lunch in the back. Thank you.
This is William, hopefully your favorite videographer from Two Hats Publishing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please leave comments below, or like, follow, or subscribe to us and get notices of all our videos. We love it, even when you call.